You know, we're kind of breaking the natural laws of the universe here, people. Bringing Mega Ice to the Fire Realm? The audacity. All in a day's work for a hero, right? Doing menial labor? Yep, we're pretty awesome. So you can chat with the Gorons here if you wish, then speak with Goron to proceed. At this point, there is a few things we can do in the village now that everything is kind of opened up. However, I will be showing those at the end of the video, since there's some other things we need to do here in the village that becomes available after we do the fire sanctuary. So instead, continue on to the Elder's house like Goron suggested. It's the big building to the far northwest. You can't miss it. It looks very eldery. So this cave has some fire keys. We haven't actually seen them in a while, but remember that you can't hurt them with your sword, unless you stun them first with a whirlwind anyway. Instead, you want to use either the boomerang or the whip to take them out, and I still think the whip is probably faster and safer, even though it takes multiple hits, because you're kind of guaranteed you're going to hit them. Meanwhile, with the boomerang, you kind of like have to draw a very lengthy path and either hope it hits them, or you have to get very close, and potentially that's dangerous. So for this first part, you want to work your way at the top left corner of the cave to find a floor switch that allows us to continue. So watch out here. They lulled you into feeling safe with that big batch of jars just a few moments ago, but this next section has 3 like-likes altogether. Now I have the Shield of Antiquity / Ancient Shield, so I'm not really at risk of having my shield eaten, but just to be on the safe side, I am going to stun them from a distance using the boomerang. This is by far the safest way to take them out, although if you have enough bombs to spare, that would probably be faster to just toss a whole bunch of them at them and kill them out that way. So before moving on, I want to quickly run off to the left and open the chest here to find some uncommon treasure. We'll swing through here on the way back, but I just wanted to make sure you get it. After that, go on up the stairs to the right and enter the fire sanctuary. I'll have you know, no stereotypical fire area is complete without flaming boulders of death falling from the sky. There were some of these back in the area leading to the mountain goddess altar where we found Goron, but for the most part they only happened at specific points. In contrast, this place is pretty dangerous all over, so you need to kind of move around to avoid being hit by them. You want to just watch out for any shadows on the ground, and there's also a ton of fire babas and fire keys, so you want to keep your boomerang handy. Being the compulsive go-get-everything kind of guy I am, I will now proceed to destroy all the foes in this area before moving onward. Technically, you can pretty much just run through here. Okay, so once you feel less threatened, you want to go ahead and use the boomerang to pass the flame along the unlit torches. So at this point, it seems like they're encouraging you to keep going, but if you look further south, you'll notice that there are still more unlit torches. This makes my Zelda senses all tingly. So you remember that guy who fixed the bridge leading to the ocean realm, who had that fantastic name of the Bridge Worker? Can you imagine if he found out about this? All he'd really need to build bridges is a couple of torches. We should totally pack these things off and make some bridges for a living. It'd be great. Just use your boomerang every once in a while to spread the flame. In fact, that would probably make a lot of these temples easier too. You could just skip all kinds of puzzles. Anyway, so at this point you could take this upper path, but obviously instead we want to take the optional path that we just created, which leads to some treasure and the stamp station. So up ahead we have this stone tablet thing, which has a clue about what to do next, and I don't know what it is about this thing. Like, I know it's written in plain English and everything, but every time I play this, like, I feel like I just get really confused and I have to write it down on a piece of paper or something and be like, okay, so this person goes to this person and this person goes to this person. It's actually really simple, but I don't know, it always, like, confuses me. Anyway, once upon a time, two men fell in love with a beautiful woman. One man was popular and always a center of attention, but all he cared for was the beautiful woman he had fallen in love with. Unfortunately for him, the woman only had eyes for the other man. Gasp! The battle for the woman's love grew and sent sparks hot enough to melt stone, but eventually friendship shone between the men like a light uniting the pair. It was as if a door had been unlocked. Alright, let's solve this thing. Popular guy's in the middle, he's looking to the north at the chick, she's looking at the dude on the far right. And we don't really care about her because this story, my friends, is about bromance. You know the song I'm talking about. I'm going to stand between them and play the Song of Lights to open the door. As a quick observation for you, the story on the stone tablet said that the dude's battle for the woman's love sent sparks hot enough to melt stone. Now, is this just a coincidence, or is this some kind of legend about why there's a volcano here? Moral of the story, folks, don't fight over a girl. It's not worth it, because as we all know, it causes natural disasters. This is pretty serious stuff, and if you start making volcanoes pop up everywhere, then no one's going to be happy with you, especially the girl. Words of wisdom straight out of a Zelda game. Pretty sweet, huh? Now, with relationship advice taken care of, you want to enter the cave and meet up with Embrose, the third regional Lokomo dude who will then play the next duet with us. A lot of people have trouble with this particular song, but I don't think it's because our part of the song is really that hard to play. It's more that Embrose himself has a really odd accompaniment, and part of it overlaps with us, so with what we're supposed to play, so I think that confuses people. Like all of the songs, my suggestion is to focus on the timing and listen to the metronome in the background and play when you're supposed to, as usual, and you should be just fine. So I think right about now, if Darunia from Ocarina of Time were here, he would say that was a hot beat. With the tracks leading to the Fire Temple restored, we can now head there with a little advice from the Gorons back in the village. Luckily, the way back there is a little bit easier than it was getting here, since we now have tons of shortcuts, as you'll see. Okay, so here, go left, and then hop off the ledge. Do not go right. Remember, there are tons of lights on the right, and they have reappeared. We obviously don't want to lose our shield, and I highly recommend against going this direction, but since some of you may be stubborn and want to try it out anyway, I'm going to kill these guys and show you how to do it. You know, if you're going to do something stupid, you might as well do it right. While standing on this ledge, we can't actually use our items to attack the enemies below, unless you toss bombs anyways. That, of course, works. Instead, it's probably smarter to, lure them over to one side so that you can sneak around. Instead, you can simply take the shortcut off to the left and skip them entirely. Oh. So once you make it back to Goron Village, the Elder has some quick advice for you and encourages you to speak with the other Gorons in the village to get their hints about how to get to the Fire Temple. While it's not technically required that you speak with them, it's kind of important because it's unlikely that you would be able to guess some of these things without tons of aimless wandering and a bucket full of frustration, so I do recommend you chat with the Gorons, or at least follow my instructions in this walkthrough. So after that, you can complete our next mission objectives and enter the temple, but now is also an excellent time to do some side quests. Now that we have the freight car, there are tons of new stuff that is suddenly available for us to do, so if you would like some treasure, some force gems, some rabbits, as well as a couple of new gates to make things easier to move around, then stick around with me for the next 3 videos where you will see more train tracks than you have ever planned on seeing in your entire life. Otherwise, you can join me for the 6th video of this chapter where I will continue on with the main quest. Either way, I will see you guys then.